Uh, Hello, everyone. Today's town hall is all about WordPress migrations. And yeah, hi, Mike from UK. That's nice. Uh, yes. Uh, when our WordPress migration tool is not very well known among people, and we often see comments where people say that migration takes a lot of time. It's like a nightmare. So we thought we should do this one from our town hall series around our migration tool. It's a one-click migration tool that lets you transfer sites effortlessly, and we have. Um, let me- Yeah, we have 20 people here, and I think it's good time to get started with our presentation and introduce the team. Yeah, so welcome to InstaWP Town Hall. Today's agenda is we are going to receive all the live questions from you and answer them. We are going to talk about how WordPress migrations have evolved over time, like how it was before and how it is now, especially with our tool. And then we are going to live demo our tool and show you how it works with InstaWP. Then we have top 10 support questions answered that are related to that our support people receive most of the time. And then we will answer the questions that we have received like for this event in particular. Then there is an exclusive offer for our attendees. Now we like for this event we have four crew members here. Sikandar is head of customer success. Melvin is our customer success engineer, and Jayed is the WordPress developer behind our migration features. So I am just handing it over to Sikandar, and he will talk about the evolution of WordPress migrations.
Hello everyone, I am Sikandar Badshah and I head the customer success team from Dhaka, Bangladesh. And we are very happy to discuss our migration success with everyone in the world. And we will be discussing some of the basic things that we used to do to migrate WordPress websites. So, earlier when we started with WordPress, if we say like 5 years or 10 years back, we used to have different kind of FTP tools. We used to use different kind of SSH terminal methodologies to download backups of files, download backups of our MySQL databases. So right now these things have become very easy. You might have used different kind of WordPress plugins to generate a backup, or you might have used different kind of SFTP or FTP software like FileZilla to migrate websites. We still use that, but InstaWP tries to make this experience even more better for you. So you do not need to zip or unzip files manually with this plugin. You do not have to get extra space or generate backups or do different kind of zip files, because InstaWP migration plugin helps you to select the plugins or select the themes or select the media folder or the specific media or even specific database tables to migrate your website from one host to another. You don't necessarily need to migrate to our service. You can migrate your site from GoDaddy to Bluehost, from Bluehost to Hostinger. So any website, any hosting, there's no restriction. Our plugin can manage all kind of platforms and all kind of WordPress websites. And InstaWP is trying to help you with zero downtime. So there is no need to wait for the DNS propagation. So if you're moving to our platform or something is masked behind InstaWP, we always offer you a temporary URL. So your site is always available, even if it's the DNS propagation is not done. So if you're moving a very critical WooCommerce site or any other e-commerce site powered by Easy Digital Downloads or SureCart or anything, so the switching process will be done on its own separately, and you will be able to work with the site in the background as well. So we try to ensure that the highest uptime possible, and when we are doing the migrations or doing the file transfer, we are also setting up a log so that you can understand what is happening when, or if a migration is failed for a large amount of site, or if there is any kind of restriction with different kind of uh, firewalls or different kind of security protocols, you have Cloudflare or anything in the in between that is going to hamper the process, you will always know that where this thing is not working, and our support team will always be available to help you. And we try to automate the backups and debugging logs from our platform and our infrastructure as much as possible. So even if during the migration process your source site or your destination site goes online, or if there is a 500 error or if there is a 300 error, you still have your files ready and you can resume it anytime you want. And we also offer a web-based portal or web-based page where you can track your migrations, and also the plugin gives you a temporary link and migration ID so that you can monitor the migration process. So this is just in short what we do. This is not everything, I'm just trying to generalize it. My colleague Jahid will go in more depth, and you will be able to understand how you can do different kind of migrations.
Yeah, Jed will like take you through everything our migration plugin does. Meanwhile, yeah, Marco, hi, like Portugal is a very nice place to visit. And but yeah, you should surely migrate to India and somewhere near my home, so that like I saw your website and there's a picture of your grandson with guitar. I would like to learn from him. Okay, then you can like take us through how. Okay. Uh, yeah, over to you, Jed.
Thank you. Thank you, Sivanshi. So, okay, I am Jayed Musharraf. I am the senior WordPress developer here at InstaWP. I am the backend person for the migrations. Okay, so I would like to share some quick stats with you guys. Like we so far we have done around 20,000 plus migrations, and we are doing we are getting like 80% plus success rate over the time. It is increasing, and the ideal sites for the migration is up to 5 GB. But we have some experience of success migrating sites over 5 GB as well, but not the usual. So we'd suggest to migrate uh, sites up to that is 5 GB. So okay, next. uh, Now I will share some key features of our migration tool. Then I will show the demo. It basically supports any two host. Like you might one source website is on GoDaddy and one is at Hostinger. So no matter where the website is hosted, you just need to enter the URLs of the source and destination. Then you will need to connect it and authorize it with our server. Then just click the start the migration and get the tracking URL and share it with anyone. And even you don't need to sit or open that specific any particular website or web page to avoid the failure. So once the migration is started, we will email you that we are migrating your website from here to here. And if something happens wrong, we will also email you that something goes wrong. You can try now the manual migration. We offer some manual migration as well. But if the migration goes success, we will also update you over the email that your migration is completely done. So now the demo part, I guess.
Sure. You would like to share your screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, please add that. Meanwhile, hi Tom, I think you were able to figure out the time, right?
Visible screen. My screen is visible.
Uh, Let me remove mine.
Okay, so I already prepared two websites. One is on Hostinger. This one is on Hostinger, and this is a basic WordPress installation, just a fresh WordPress installation on SiteGround. So now this one will be the destination, and this is the source website. Now I will move this source website to the destination website using our migration tool. So if you go to our dashboard, and on the top menu, profile menu, there is a migrate website menu you will find. Just click on it. Now you just need to put the website URLs. Like this one is the source website. Now let's connect it. Okay, as I am already logged into the website, this is why the login screen doesn't come. So if I am not logged into the website, so it will first ask me to log in, then I will get to this screen. I authorize the connection. Now I will have to put the destination URL as well. Similarly, we connect the both website in the similar way. So as I already logged into the destination website as well, this is why I don't asked for the login. Okay, so now the both websites are connected. I can now start the migration. So I would like to try to track the time, so how long it takes to migrate the website. So you see that this website is a template to install it. I already installed a template, so all the pages are here. It has some images as well. Okay, so I just start the migration and start the timer. Okay, so I would like to share some background thing. What is happening here? So basically, while we connecting the websites, we basically install our InstaWP Connect plugin that act as a bridge between your websites and our server. So we do the same on the both websites, and once the plugin is installed, we connect your website with our server through that plugin. Then when we start the migration, we used our pull and push migration method. That is a two different migration method. So so first what we do first, we take the files and database from the source website to our server. We create a temporary location for that, for storing the files and database. And then once we take up the files and database from the source website, then we push it back to the destination website from the temporary location in our server. So this is how it works. And there is a there is a thing I would like to share also, that is, usually what happens, the most of the migration plugin does, they do the zip backing up the files and exporting the database, making the zip files, and then transfer those zip files. But we are not doing like this way. We just basically do chunk of files and database, like 1 MB of each, and then we transfer those chunks to from source to our temporary location, and similarly from our temporary location to the destination websites. So what is the benefit of this way? Because in this way we avoid the PSP execution time out error. There is, you know that there are lots of dependency and challenges comes with the PSP and WordPress websites while doing large operation. So we avoid this, we avoid such kind of errors by this method. One another thing, we also not using the WordPress instance while we are pulling out and pushing the database or files from source to our temporary location, as well as from temporary location to the uh, WordPress to the destination websites. We are basically use our own script from the plugin side and the server side to manage all this connection and file transfer and database transfers. So this is how our tool is a little bit different from what the other migration tool does. And this makes us unique as well as more reliable than the others.
Great.
So on. So now, okay, so 340. So you see that it's just 3 minutes and 40 seconds it took to migrate the whole website from this here to here. So now this website. Okay. So all the images, all the assets, all the surfaces, pages, and everything comes to the destination website without any hassle. So you don't need to worry about the backing up the database files, uploading it somewhere, then uh, restoring it on the destination. You just need to put the URLs, connect it, and start the migration. That's the magic of InstaWP migration tool.
Wow. So it took like less than 4 minutes to migrate this site,
Yes,
right?
right.
Great. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So now, if I say that there's a website which cannot be migrated, like it is very large, or maybe someone is like afraid to work on it like directly, we also have this manual migration service, and I think Sikandar will be able to cover it better.
So, for our agency partners, we have been offering manual migration services. If you want to host your sites on InstaWP, we take care of the migration process free of cost, and doesn't matter how large the site is. And our average record of response or discussion is 4 minutes at this time, and we try our best to complete the migration process within 4 hours on average. But in some rare cases, if the site is very large and it has some security plugins, and as I've mentioned, there could be complications with firewall system. So we might need to juggle with these things, and there could be some malicious code as well. Sometimes we try to migrate the hacked sites and clean up during the process. We also do some performance optimizations to understand if the site could use lower resources, lower CPU, and lower RAM. So that kind of services also offered free of cost for our agency partners. So on those cases, it might take up to 18 hours for complicated cases. This is our highest record that we take to migrate the websites, but the average is most of the time is 4 hours. So I would encourage our agency partners to contact us if you need any support to migrate your sites to InstaWP. And if you have any question or you are struggling with a specific site migration, please feel free to use our live chat service. It's available 24 hours on every working day.
And yeah, that's great. So uh, there are many issues that people often deal with while trying to migrate their site, and there are obviously fixes for those. So Melvin is going to cover everything about like how to fix those things and how it works for you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. So I'm Melvin. Now I'm going to discuss about the common migration issues. We usually get these questions, and one of those are, customers trying to migrate and get stuck at 80%. Now, most of the time, there are a couple of factors here involved. Timeout issues, there could be memory exhaustion, and file transfer error. So, how to address timeout issues? This is usually addressed by increasing the maximum execution time. So, you normally for regular websites, you can just set the max execution time to 300. But for e-commerce sites, I would recommend having 600, as this usually decreases the failure uh, as a result of it being timed out. For memory exhaustion, you can also increase the memory limit. Um, for regular websites, 256 is just fine. But for e-commerce, I would recommend setting it to 512. That usually fixes the problem when you come up, come with that kind of error. You can also check the logs actually before making changes to these configurations. There's always a log where you can see what might have caused the migration to fail. So based on the logs, then you apply those changes. For file transfer errors, usually files that has no read and write permissions, this should be addressed by, or this can be addressed by setting the file permission to 644, or for directories, make sure that the permission is 755 or 705. Now, that's one of the most common issue. Another is mismatched in site content. One of the reasons why we get this mismatch content is the database. What happens when you migrate a website? The tool extracts the database and then imports it into the destination. Sometimes it fails if the database is quite large, or for whatever reasons the database that's being imported is corrupted. So what you can do is you know if the database is quite large, you can just export it manually from the source website and then import it in the destination. You can use manually, you can use the php-admin, or in InstaWP we have database editor where you can just import a database manually. You can also use WP CLI, by running the code wp-db import. um, um, yeah, usually that fixes the problem. Another possible reason or possible solution is updating the site URL. Usually the site URL, it stays on the old URL, so you just have to run a search replace. That's for mismatch content. Another common issues, hosting limit issues. So for hosting limit issues, I've talked about this. The memory limit sometimes is set to minimum, maybe 256 or 128. So you just increase that to 512 for e-commerce sites. For regular websites, 256 will do. The max execution time, that's very important. and the upload max file size. You I think 256 MB is it will do just fine, and the post max size 256 MB will do just fine as well. This is for hosting limit. When you do migration, also the size of the website matters. So you have to consider how much or what is the size of this website, or is this gonna um, maybe for 2 gig, from 2 gig to 5 gig, feel free to use the migration tool. But if you go over 5 gigabytes, I would recommend to do manual migration, where it only involves extracting the database, the files, compressing them, and then transfer them into the destination website. Maybe another host, maybe InstaWP. The process is the same. Compress, extract, and then import into the destination. But again, you have to consider those requirements. Now, for broken URLs, this is usually um, can be resolved by updating the permalinks. When you're able to log into the dashboard, you just navigate to the settings, and then even if you don't make changes to the permalinks, you just click on save. That will rewrite the configuration in the HT access. It's a configuration file in your WordPress. If um, Sometimes you don't go straight to the permalinks. You can simply just run the search replays or manually update the site URL and home URL. This usually fixes broken URLs. I've done this a couple times. Even earlier, I've migrated a website where um, it's the URL has not been updated, so I had to run search replays. You can either use the WP to do that, or you can also use a third-party plugin like Better Search Replays. This is a good plugin to use. So I think these are the common issues.
Yeah, thanks for addressing everything, Melvin. And now this is the time for the questions you have asked, and I would like pick questions from the chat one by one first, and then we will talk about the questions that we received during the registration. So let's start with Marco's question because it's, I think, time sensitive for us. Like, you meant 60 seconds, right? Even that is a lot. That means a badly coded script can hang your servers for that long. Is it so? Jed, you might want to answer this one, right?
Uh, the PHP execution time.
I guess so. It was, I think, during when Melvin was talking about the first
Oh
challenge.
no, yeah, the 600. I think that's what you
Yeah,
meant.
600,
Yeah.
right? Okay, it was 600.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe Melvin can answer because he knows the context.
Okay. So yeah, just set it to 600 if it's an e-commerce site. But if it's a regular website, better set it to 300. 300 seconds will do.
Okay, great.
To add a little bit more to that so that we have more context. Uh, so longer PHP execution time is usually not expected if you have enough RAM and enough CPU. So most of the time, what we found when people are asking assistance to us, that means they have a shared hosting server or their hosting server does not have dedicated resources to handle the migration requests, or there could be like different kind of file generation process or image optimization process. So when the server is busy generating PDF files or generating new thumbnails images, so the server might not be able to process a migration request. So If you are talking about an e-commerce site and you are trying to migrate it, we always recommend it doing during the Sunday midnight time. So that time, most of the sites around the world receive the less amount of traffic. And to ensure, if you have bigger files or bigger uh, amount of website you have, then you need to have a larger execution time. But that is something temporarily we do to ensure that we are getting stuff done as fast as possible. Usually, we do not experience any kind of 500 error during the migration process. The 600 seconds of execution time is just a precautionary measure, because sometimes with 30 seconds or 60 seconds, it might get timed out, or the server might kill the connection. To download larger amount of files, we need a longer a live connection. So that is only done during the migration process. But if you think that your site is doing fine, you have enabled caching, so it is not going to use that much of CPU or RAM, then you can set it to like 30 seconds or 60 seconds as you like.
Okay, thanks for clarifying this, Sikandar. Now, next question is from Maruf. He is asking that why should I use this plugin instead of some other plugins like all-in-one WP migration or Draft Plus? I think Jayed has covered this one already.
Yes,
Yeah,
because I show the differences between the what
yeah.
how it happens on the Upgrade Plus and all-in-one my WP migration and how it happens in our tool. So I guess you got the difference.
Yeah. So next question is, does the destination site completely wipe the old site? I think Sikandar answered in the chat, but it's for audience on our YouTube or other platforms. So let me like ask this one again. Does the destination site completely wipe the old site, including old plugins, media, themes? Or if I don't need the whole site data, should I perform the reset beforehand? Sikandar.
Yes. So the destination website will get completely wiped out, and any user account or any access that will be lost. And we warn about this before running the migration process, that this is a very important procedure and you need to be very careful and understand what you are doing. So only the source website is going to be copied, or it's similar to making a Xerox or making a photocopy of a document. So it will be an exact copy of the source site. So nothing on the destination will be left.
Right. So login access will also be removed as Bilal asked, right?
Yes, correct. So you will always have to use the source site's login access. And if you accidentally forget the username and password, you can always log in via SSH or SFTP and do some different hacks to register a user again. You can even use WPCLI commands to register a new user. If you need that command, please feel free to ask on the live chat.
Yeah. And what if the PHP version does not meet?
If
Jay?
the function is not does not meet with the source and destination, we suggest to match the PHP version uh, for safer site. Uh, if there is a minor difference, like for source is using 8.1 and destination is using 8.2, then there we guess that that's not creating an issue. But if the source website is using 5.6 and the destination is using the 8.3, so that's a big difference. So what we suggest in this case, if there is something in your case, like the source website is using very old PHP version, we suggest to create a staging of that source website using our plugin, then update the PHP versions, update the WP versions, and all other things in the staging websites. Once it all goes well, then do the same or put it back to the staging to live website. Then you can just migrate the live to source to destination using our this migration tool. So it's always recommended to update and match the source and destination PHP version and configuration as well.
Okay. So what size was this example site like in your demo, Jay?
That was like 120 MB
Okay.
for
Okay.
total file size.
Mhm. And Tom is asking what happens if during a transfer a user signs up for a newsletter? Like
That
there
depends.
can be other scenario as well, like if an order is placed. So for things like that, how do you think should go?
Okay.
Good
If
question
that
there.
is happening, okay, please go ahead.
So, the standard procedure for migrating a website or doing any kind of maintenance work, you must enable a maintenance mode to ensure that we do not miss any data. So, everyone can have some kind of downtime unless you are Facebook or Google. So, you can have at least like 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes during Sunday midnight as a downtime if you have the option. But if you think that that's not an option, we still have the two-way sync in the background to help you. So you can leave your production website live and you can just switch the DNS. And during the process, if you think that something might have been lost and if there is a difference between the database size or the file sizes, then you can use just the two-way sync feature to sync the site back.
Okay, so uh, you should first enable event listening using our InstaWP Connect tool. Uh, like use our two-way sync feature on your live site and check it back once the migration is complete. Is that right?
Correct. That was my concept. Jayad bhai, please
Yeah.
feel free to add anything if you want.
Yes, that's okay. I guess that the destination website is a blank website, so no issue with that. No one will sign up for the newsletter on the destination. So I hope that he was saying about the source, and
Yeah, yeah.
right that in the source website that is completely untouched. So while we are doing the migration, the source website is completely accessible and running and functional. So you can use the two-way sync feature later to match the or update the new content.
Okay. Why is that WP new website works for only 6 days and you have to create a new one over and over? Okay, I think it is about staging. I'm not sure what is it about.
Yes,
Yes, staging
Yeah,
site
sure.
on.
Yeah, so staging sites, that's the expiry time for like staging site. But if you are on a paid plan, you can extend the expiry time and even mark your website permanent. So that should not be a problem. Next question is don't know if it was covered, but can I migrate to and from local with your plugin?
yes. If I have the time, then I will show how you can do that. But we have the option to migrate your local website using our plugin. There is a CLI command. So let me suggest you the steps to follow. First, install our InstaWP Connect plugin on your local website. uh, then connect it with your InstaWP account. Then you will get the instruction. You will get some CLI commands to use, by which you can just uh, migrate your local website in ours to our server. And then, but there is a restriction that only your local website only be migrated to our server only first. So if you want to migrate it on different hosting, then first connect it with our server, then take it on our server live, then you can just push it back to anywhere.
Okay, yeah, got it. Next question is InstaWP different from InstaWP Townhall? Because I'm not getting the term migration being used. So yeah, like it is just a series we are running to help our customers. InstaWP Townhall is like a webinar series where we cover different features and talk about uh, different features and answer your support questions. So it is like something related to our product, but product is InstaWP, obviously. Benjir is saying, glad to join the session. I'm using InstaWP for a long time for testing various plugins temporarily. Yeah, thanks for that. So, yes, I think questions from the chat are over, so we can move to the question we received already. How long does migration using your tool takes? based on site size. Melvin, I think you can cover it
Yeah.
quickly because we have.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So, using the migration tool from 1 gigabyte of size usually takes 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. But if you have a site like a 5 gigabyte size, this could take 30 minutes to an hour. That's actually maximum. We usually handle migrations of this size, and most 90% of the time, 5 gigabyte size website takes 30 minutes to an hour to migrate.
Okay. What are the prerequisites when you are when using the SWP SSH migration? Sikandar, you can answer this one.
So the SSS migration will definitely needs the SSS access. So we use server to server migration feature, and in between, InstaWP is staying as a backup as well. So if for some reason there's a 500 error, any of your source or destination site goes on offline, then InstaWP will be live in the background and will be keeping a copy of the site available for the next 6 hours. So if the situation with the source or destination site resolves within 6 hours of maximum, then we resume the migration process again. But if it does not solve within the 6 hours period, then that will be marked as a failed migration. You will get a notification via email. And if you want, you can do the debugging yourself, looking at the logs, or you can just send us a message on live chat and we will take a look and assist you from there.
Okay. What should I do if my site content is missing after migration? I think Melvin can answer this one.
Yeah. So during the migration, there are times when some contents are missing or not migrated. So first, you have to verify the database. You may need to manually export the database from the source and then import into the destination. If of course if the database is quite large, then you might need to do that. Sometimes just updating the permalinks will do. This forces your WordPress to refresh, rewrite rules, and may restore missing content. um, it could also be you know um, caused by an inconsistent URL. So if during the migration the URL were not changed, then you can manually change it using WP CLI, or you can also navigate to the database editor and update it from there. The WP options table, you have the site URL and home URL. You can update it from there, and that should fix the mismatches.
Okay. Can I migrate a multi-site installation to InstaWP? I'm adding Jed to stay so that he can answer this one.
Okay. You know that there is two types of multi-site configuration. One is subdirectory based and one is subdomain based. So for if your multi-site is setting up with the subdirectory based, then yes for it. But if you have set up the subdomain based multi-site, then it is not supported.
Okay. Does InstaWP automatically handle URL changes during migration? Uh, Sikandar?
Yes, after the migration process is complete, we run a WP CLI command so that the URLs are replaced properly. But sometimes there could be some issues with Elementor. So you need to go to Elementor tools and rewrite the URLs and clear their file generation process or file compression process, so that inside their CSS files, if there is a background image URL, that gets updated, and if you have updated something in the post or something in the landing pages, that also gets updated. But that's a very rare case, but you can easily fix within a minute. And I would like to add a little bit clarification to the previous questions. Shivansi, could you please go 2 questions back?
This one?
Yes. So it is not necessary that the content will always be missing. Sometimes the content is there, but because of the URL rewrite process, or something might have not worked, or if there was a caching plugin activated, or if there is the DNS process cached, or if there was any insecure file adding process, for example HTTP versus HTTPS. So those things also result in missing images in your website. So you will see that the landing page does not have the images, but you might see that the image is there inside the WP content folder. In those cases, you should use the inspect element in browser and see from which link it is trying to load the image. So from there, you'll be able to understand if there is something wrong with the URL rewrite process. And please go to the next question. So
This
about the multi-site, I want to add a little bit about the multi-site question. So multi-site for subdomains and subfolders are both supported on InstaWP Live, as you will be using your own domain. So there will be no restriction on that part. But if you want to migrate multi-site network that uses subdomain feature on the staging platform, then that will be complicated, because if you look at the URL structure, you will see that it is something like sekandar.instawp.xyz. So we are already using the subdomain mechanism. So we will not be able to manage the routing or the DNS management feature inside a subdomain. So it would be subdomain. So that would be a very complicated situation. So this is why we suggest subfolder type of network installation inside WP staging.
okay.
Yeah. So these were the things that I wanted to add.
Okay. Can I migrate a site to sub directly or subdomain on InstaWP? Melvin?
I have just answered this question.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you just did.
yeah. What are the recommended PHP settings for a successful migration? I think Melvin covered it already. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Earlier we covered that one.
yeah. Are database and media files included when migrating a site? Yeah, please.
If you have PHP 7.4, then we will highly recommend that you upgrade the PHP version first on your source site and see if there is any issues or any error. Then you should start migrating the site to a different platform. Doesn't matter if it's InstaWP or anywhere else, because as far I know, most of the professional platforms and popular platforms has stopped supporting PHP 7.4, as the security and update phase has ended quite a long time ago. So you
Right.
must use PHP 8.1 or later. We usually recommend PHP 8.2 for most of the sites.
Okay. Are database and media files included when migrating a site to InstaWP?
Yes, everything is included inside the migration process, and they are being transferred simultaneously. If you remember, or you can see the uh, playback of this live webinar, you will see that Jayad was showing his screen and there was
Mhm.
two different progress bar. One was for the database, one was for the files.
Okay. When migrating a site using a plugin, many times files or certain elements go missing or errors occur, especially for large websites. What's the solution for this? Melvin, like you can summarize it because we covered it almost.
Yeah, so when migrating a large website, um, sometimes or most of the time, I usually encounter this like a 20 gigabyte sized website migrated to InstaWP. Then there are images that are not carried over. So the solution to this is manually extract those files. You can compress them. I would suggest the whole uploads folder be compressed and then transferred, or you can transfer it using SSH or SFTP if you want. But you can do that, import as soon as it's uploaded into the destination, then you can extract it from there to replace the existing folder, the uploads folder. It's usually the uploads folder that gets corrupted. uh, most of the time there are websites with lots and lots of images and videos. They usually get corrupted. maybe for some reasons like network issues, maybe during the transfer there was like a network issue, then you may have to extract and manually transfer it to the destination website. Um, and Sikander also covered this one earlier. The URL of these images may have not been updated, so you may have to inspect whether it's using HTTP or HTTPS, and then update it accordingly.
Okay. What are the different ways to backup and migrate a site from one host to another? Does the tool support incremental backups? Jayed, I'm adding you to answer this one.
Uh, we have a fantastic backup solution for the website we host. That is the InstaWP Live. Uh, let's say you have a website at different hosting. Just if you want to do backup with us, then I would suggest to connect it with us first, then create a staging and reserve it as a permanent site, and then that will be your initial backup. Then this way you can do the backup. But for the incremental backup and automatic scheduler backup, that will be coming in. That will be coming in the near future, like on the Q3.
Ah, great. How are my country's samosa different from yours? Oh, I know who should answer this one.
How is this related to migration?
I don't know.
So,
We received this one. It is most probably internal.
okay. So samosas are different in Africa and in Asia. Every country has their own unique blend of spices and unique blend of vegetables. I prefer the most is the Bangladeshi samosas because they have more crunch. They have chunky vegetables. Indian samosas seem a little bit mushy to me. They are very soft like Indian people. So I prefer the strong ones. I prefer the crispy ones.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, like when you move from one place to another within India, there are like dozens of types of samosas. So, uh, okay. I want to go deep. I think we covered it in very like detail, the migration, so we can skip this one. Does the migration tool work well with sites created with Bricks Builder, Jayat?
Uh,
I think
yes,
well,
yes. It. Sorry, Secondar was saying something.
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
added it.
Previous slide, someone wanted to listen about migrations in more deeper. So I can share 2 or 3 case scenarios where I have faced difficult situations for site migrations. So sometimes there are situations where everyone is clueless how the migration should work, or they are unable to complete the migration process. So one time the user or the owner of the website was being difficult to work with, and they didn't want to share the cPanel access with us, and they just shared an SSH access with us. And our team members were confused that how we should take the database backup if we do not have the cPanel access, because we usually go to phpMyAdmin and take a dump of SQL file directly and import it directly. But I have also learned that if you take the database dump directly on a readable format without zipping it, then there's chance of getting the file corrupted, or there could be chances of malicious code being injected from your desktop computer or something too. So to be safe, you should always use the terminal. So if you have SSH access to a website or a web server, you have access to everything. So you can use WP CLI to dump the database easily on the WP content folder or any folder, and try to do it as fast as possible. As soon as the file is generated or downloaded, try to gzip it and download it as soon as possible. And when you are uploading the database to your destination site, also check the checksum. So verify the file against the checksum to be sure it is the exact same file and it has the exact same size. All of the data is migrated So you will be able to confirm that if the checksum is matching. And if you see that a plugin is unable to migrate a website, sometimes even InstaWP plugin fails, sometimes even the popular plugin fails. It never is the case that any plugin migrates a website 100% successfully. So there will always be a case that you are unable to migrate a website from a graphical interface. So you will definitely need to use SSH, and that is the faster option. But as Melvin was saying, if are video files, there are chances that the files might be corrupted. If the video files are like 2 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB, 4K video files, on those cases, we try to download those on our desktop, taking the client or customer's permission earlier, because there is Data Protection Security Act involved, and we are 100% GDPR compatible. So after we have downloaded those files, we upload those files using FileZilla, because FileZilla has 10 different simultaneous connection feature. So you can upload them. And if there is any file missing, you can just drag and drop entire WP content folder. And FileZilla will ask you that these type of files already exist. So what should I do in this case? So you can select, if the sizes are different, replace these files. If the dates are different, replace these files. So you will get several options, and based on your situation you can choose those options on FileZilla, and that would help you fix the missing files. So only the differentiated files, or only the files that are missing, FileZilla will upload them. The files that were already uploaded, that will be skipped. So that is a very good thing that I have discovered during the migration process to fix the missing files. There could be some other mechanism to generate the file list or generate different kind of zips. If the plugins are failing, then you can manually take the zip, always the old school way. So for sites that are over like 70 GB, 100 GB, 200 GB, for that kind of larger sites, we most of the time to zip them individually through SSH, and then use WPCLI and SSH to restore the site, because that is still the most reliable way. But we are always discussing InstaWP Connect plugin in this webinar, because we have highest amount of trust on our product, because we are using it every day. We know what went inside our blood, sweat, and tears. So this is why we are always pushing it. And it's not like that you need to have a premium plan to use InstaWP Connect. It is available to everyone free of cost. You can just directly search from your dashboard, and you can start using it. And our free plan also offers like 5 GB of hosting. You can save a staging site for 7 days free of cost, that we have already discussed. So we have a lot of free things that you can use, and we are not suggesting this as a marketing gimmick. We are suggesting this as a solution to the community. So we are not here to sell our products or services. We didn't mention any kind of pricing here. So trust us.
Yeah, sure thing. Does the migration tool work well with sites created with Bricks Builder, Jayat?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it
great. Will this be recorded and where can we get it? You don't say what time zone. I think time zone part we have solved. So when StreamYard uh, shows you the form, it does not show the time zone, but it is your time zone only. And for this recording part, let me share another tab. Like this is our InstaWP YouTube channel. You can go to live, and here you will find all the webinars recorded. Like even the current one we have, uh, it's live here as well. So you can go there and like find the recording immediately. On a WP multi-site installation, I should move a site in the domain.com to domain.com subdirectory. What are the manual fixes I need to do and how to avoid SEO complications? Melvin, you can cover the SEO complications part, I think, because rest is covered.
Yeah, I think this was already covered a bit, but when migrating your when you have migrated your multi-site to InstaWP, um, as a domain name, you want it changed to a subdomain, you're gonna wanna change a couple of database tables. I think you're gonna need to edit the WP underscore blogs table, and the WP site table, and also the WP post. You just remove the URL references and replace them with the path of your subsites. You're also gonna wanna change the or update the wp-config.php, and there's a constant there in the WP config where it indicates or specify the URL. You just have to change that. Um, the constant, I think it's, if I'm not wrong, subdomain underscore install. Uh, you just change that to false, as it expects the WordPress will expect a subdomain. So you have to change that to false in order for you to be able to change that to a subdirectory. Um, then lastly, I guess you're gonna need to run the search replays to make sure that all the URLs that's um, the references to the old subdomains will be changed to the subdirectory. But there are a lot of I think guide. You can even do chat gpt to search on how to um, convert a subdomain based multi-site to a subdirectory. So it's all over in the internet.
Oh, great. Okay. Can I pause or resume a migration in InstaWP, Jayed?
No, unfortunately, no, because once it is started, the bullet is out. So there is no comeback. But there is an option to abort the migration. So if you mistakenly just started the migration and you feel something wrong and you should not start that migration, you can just abort it. So if you abort it, then what will happen that we will stop the operation and stop the migration, and your source website will be completely safe.
Okay, so will it roll back as well, or like if it is the middle?
No matter where in which stage you stop abort the migration, uh, basically we don't touch the source website, we don't do anything to the source website, to the live
Okay.
website.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if 50% of the migration has done and we started pushing files from our temporary location, server location, to the destination website, and you stop the migration, abort the migration at that point, then your destination website could be break. But that's not an issue because the destination website is just a blank WordPress installation.
Yeah,
So but the source website is completely safe.
correct. What's the cost of using InstaWP migration tool, and how do credits work? Sikandar?
So the migration tool is available in the free plan. You can do a couple of migrations, but if you are doing larger amount of migrations every day, then we would recommend upgrading to the premium plan. And if you think that you are going to migrate like hundreds and thousands of site every month, then we can also offer you custom pricing, custom SLA, service level agreement, and you can also get dedicated account managers for your service. So we are open to any kind of discussion. Please feel free to reach out on live chat.
Yeah, I should put the link of our agency program in chat soon. Uh, Migration tool roadmap. I think Jayed will be covering this one. Yeah,
So
please.
yes, currently we are uh, establishing doing some we are establishing the migration tool so that we achieve 90% plus success score in the coming quarter. So that's our main priority because we made the migration flow, we made the migration tool, we have solved lots of migration issues and support to different kind of hosting. You know that different hosting companies has different structure infrastructure, server infrastructure, file infrastructure. So we try to cover all kind of uh, hosting setup so that it support our migration tool. So in the coming quarter, our target is to achieve 90% plus success rate. So that's our roadmap for now. So we build the
Nice.
tool. Now we want to stabilize it, and there you will get a web-based interface. So that you will able to do the SSH based migration from the web UI.
Great.
And yes, for the connected websites, as I mentioned, as I said earlier, that for the connected websites, we will implement the automated backup features. So once you connect your website with us, we will take backup of that connected sites automatically on your scheduled time.
Great.
And that is the exciting one is that the incremental backup. Someone might have some confusion that what does it mean by the incremental backups. So basically, incremental backup is let's say on the today I just create a backup for my connected site. I create a backup, and tomorrow I will just the next day on the next day I made some minor changes on my files or on my database, and on the next same day there is a scheduled backup. Then we will not back up the whole website. We will just back up only the changes you made between the previous backup and the next backup. So we will store only the changes, and then on the next day we will again compare the differences from the last backup and that backup current backup time. So this way we will just store only the changes you made to your websites. If there is no changes, we will not create any extra backup. So this way we will save your storage in your hosting.
Okay. Yeah. So for the attendees of this webinar, we have this special gift where we are giving 2 times credits to first 10 people who will fill the form. I'll share the link in chat. We are offering free credits for our site management feature. Like if you are going to try our site management feature, you can use those credits for sure. So I'm pasting that link in chat right away, and you can fill this form and avail those credits. We would like to take suggestions for the theme of next town hall. So if you have any suggestion, feel free to drop in comments. I think I missed one question, Jayed, and you can answer this one. Is there any limit for migrating website? Do I have to have paid plan and InstaWP account for migrating websites?
There is no limit for migrating the website. Yeah, you just have to have the enough space to store the data that we store temporarily from your source website to our server, and you just have the capacity to create a new staging site as well. And yes, obviously you will have to have a account instead of WP account for migrating the website.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Um, So we are already like 10 minutes beyond the time we had set for this. I will just quickly add everyone to stage and uh, remove my screen from here so that if they want to share something about our migration tool or anything in particular, they can say. And then, like, if you have questions remaining, you can just ask us.
think that's it for today. So we will
Yeah.
say
So,
to everyone, and I would like to thank everyone for asking so many interesting questions. It helped us to interact better and not feel awkward. So thank you for making us feel comfortable and making us feel that we belong to your circle and you also using our services properly. And please feel free to reach out to us on the live chat. We are available 24 hours every day. So you don't have to wait for the town hall. The town hall is for meeting and greeting each other so that we don't feel like we are aliens because we are always sitting behind the screen. So we don't see each other's face. So we hope that we will see you in the future as well. Thank you so much for joining.
yeah, Tom is saying that, like, saying thanks for the backup solution.
Thank you, Tom,
Okay, I
and
think
for everyone else. So keep using InstaWP and keep doing the migrations and migrate more sites to us.
sure thing. Uh, okay, I think there are no more questions, so we will call it a day. Thank you so much for joining, everyone.
All right,
Thank
bye
you,
bye.
friend.
Bye.